Hello, Heroes of the Storm's fans. Today we have a Season 19 match between Psistorm Probes and Team Happy Cloud up here in the Heroic Division. This is a replay cast, so we won't be going over a draft phase, but instead we'll do a quick draft analysis as we pop into the game. So we can see here that, again, pardon me, Psistorm Probes has banned Brax's Holdout and the Towers of Doom, so they will not be available, and Team Happy Cloud has banned Sky Temple and Infernal Shrines. The first map that was chosen was the Battlefield of Eternity, our two-lane map that often promotes big team fights, not a ton of macro opportunities, but still looking for opportunities. One of the interesting things I feel like we've seen develop more in NGS than maybe other places is a team sending their auto attacker from the bot lane to secretly take the top lane siege camp not long before, like when it seems like they would be going for their bruiser, they're in fact going to steal the top siege camp, which gives them a slight advantage when they're fighting over immortals if it doesn't get cleared. So that's an interesting tech we might see from teams at this high of a level. So we like to see race heroes on this map: Hanzo, Li Ming, Raynor, Zul'jin. Greymane can be good as well. So heroes that can generally auto attackers, but I mean even Chromie and Li Ming can do some work. Things that can do damage quickly to an immortal, something that's not really fighting back. Um, and then we often see tanks that want to create space, so things like Garrosh, Diablo, things like that can really kind of force opponents to the outside and try to keep them from attacking your immortal. So we usually see a one-man on the top, the offlaner, and a four-man on the bottom. Although we occasionally see a 2-3 split, it's fairly rare. You usually see a duel on the top and a four-man fight on both sides in the bottom. But without me yapping any further, we're going to jump into game number one between Psistorm Probes and Team Happy Cloud. So, here we have the blue team. They have drafted Rhaegar, Dahaka, Falstad, ETC, and Greymane. Now, this gives them two strong options on the ETC. They can either go, excuse me, stage dive, which gives them a triple global threat, which means they can be anywhere they want as quickly as they want. However, on a map as small as this, already having two globals, I would think that they would want to go for Mosh, but there are Mosh interrupts on the other side that are fairly easy. The Stukov Silence, Hanzo Arrow, Anubrak Q, and E actually because he's unstoppable there, and Li Ming's Wave of Force. So I would suspect this is in fact a stage dive ETC because unless he hits everyone on the opposing team, he's getting knocked out of Mosh before you can say, "Wow, that cow dancing." So ETC does give good space. Falstad is a moderate racer. Rhaegar's a good racer for a support, and Greymane's an excellent racer as long as he doesn't get bullied and poked out. This is, I would say, a medium race team, not super fast. The other teams is looking pretty good, but one of the weaknesses it has is it's very close range. And again, we see the enemy team has Stukov, Hanzo, Li Ming. Stukov, Blaze, and Anubrak can keep you at range, and Li Ming and Hanzo can destroy you at range. So this may be a bit of an uphill battle for the blue team. On the other hand, the red team has drafted, as we just mentioned, Li Ming, Anubrak, Blaze, Stukov, Hanzo. So that's a very, very beefy frontline. Anub doesn't have the biggest health pool, but Blaze is a beefy guy, and he also brings you Bunker, which kind of gives you pseudo bulk, even for your squishier characters. And Stukov's Silence gives you a weird form of bulk in the sense that if people can't use their abilities, unless they're an auto attacker, their damage and CC will decrease. And again, Hanzo and Li Ming can just burst you from the back, and they're excellent racers. So if there's a fight, they can fight from a ways back. If they're racing, they can race quickly. And Li Ming can force you to choose between taking damage on your heroes or taking damage to your immortal, which are neither things that you want. So we'll see which comp plays better. Again, I think the drafts favor the red team, but at the end of the day, as it always is, it will be a skill matchup. Whichever team plays their comp better will win this match. So without further ado, let's get in, introduce our players, and see what they have to give us. In the blue, representing the high heavens, Psistorm Probes, and befriending the angel Ilarion, we have Valera on Rhaegar, Storm Sword onto Haka, Ron on Falstad, Wolfinator on ETC, and the Red Rook playing Greymane. In the red, supporting the Burning Hells and the Demon Lieutenant Beleth, we have Team Happy Cloud. Li Ming being played by Drinking Bird, Fade on a new Barak, Rob playing Blaze. We have Rob and Ron in this game, that won't be hard. R275 Delta on Stukov, and Chrysinator playing the Hanzo. So we see the teams going into the usual 1-4 split. We've got Totem build for Rhaegar, Haka hasn't chosen. We've got the, it's Race Car. We've got Gathering Storm, so Q build Falstad. We have Prog Rock, so a little bit of supportive healing for our ETC there. And Viciousness, of course, or Wolfheart, not Viciousness, sorry, reducing a cooldown for basic attacks. So more of a Worgen build, so this will be a Wolf Race build against the Immortal. And a jump on backline / jump on a noob. A noob does not like the Worgen auto attacks. His health pool does not support getting auto attacked by big autos. And he doesn't have a lot of tools to deal with big autos outside of CC. So Worgen form can help you deal with the big beetle. We've got Aether Walk, so start of an E-build at least for Li Ming. We've got the beetles. We've got the usual off lane here. And again, Wolfinator, being able to push out the Anub quickly, being able to push people off of the team, should give them some extra sustainability. We've got Reactive Ballista Spores, so we do not have Low Blow, so the puddle will not be killing the low health healers super fast, but Reactive Ballista Spores can really make characters that want to stay mobile fairly immobile. So again, this team has done the tech. They sent the auto attacker up to take this, but the red team, again, aware of this tech, this is how fast the meta's evolved, they immediately react and take the bot, so it's an even trade. And then, yeah, the Reactive Ballista Force gives a big slow. It's huge. And it can give you the opportunity to pop more if you're low health. Chrysinator takes a ton of damage, it's down to 50. Wolfinator, he's very, very low. If Wolfinator, there it is! The final auto kills the ETC, and he goes down. Although that may have been a pustule pop as well. But yeah, a lot of damage comes out from the autos of that Russian oligarch kept alive by mushroom spores. And of course, W build, simple geometry for the Hanzo. I've only once seen Hanzo not go W build on this map. It's incredible for race, and these little wall segments mean if someone mispositions or walks through a choke to try and get to you, you can blow them up very, very fast. So both teams are on their bruisers. Rhaegar, considering helping the bot lane, but Fade's going to push us out, giving his team prio in the bottom, but the Hawk is pushing out top, giving his team prio there. And in 15 seconds, we will see the Immortal fight. Blue team will push out quickly here. Both teams are going to position now. Wolfinator takes a light combo from Drinking Bird. So, Blaze fighting, doing a lot of damage to the Storm Sword. He's getting very, very low. Here comes the slow Valera coming in to try and save. Rob not able to finish him off. ETC Wolfinator trying to stop his opponents from attacking, but they're winning this race battle. Not hugely, but by about 2,000 points. And now Wolfinator's on the bat spot. He gets silenced. He takes a combo. He's very low. Boom! The Wolfinator has been terminated. And now Red Team has a one-person advantage as they fight, as they defend their Demon Lord. And Chrysinator is sent to W down Ilarion all by himself. Here comes the engaged and cleanse onto the Red Rook. An orb comes out and does hit Greymane. Here comes another combo. He manages to back away in time, but they are losing this race, and they are losing time now. Ron is CC. The Jet Propulsion misses Storm Sword. Oh, a huge combo though, and Ron is very low. Falls out a very low health hero. Apparently a dwarf on a duck is not a super healthy creature. They lose the race. Storm Sword is incredibly low, and here comes the puddle doing a ton of damage. Red Rook goes down as well. Wolfinator attempts to save his team, but he's low. Ron has to E out to not get blown up, but now Valera is all by himself and blown up as well. Wolfinator comes in to try and save his healer, but he's incredibly low. He's going the wrong way. Your base is the other way, ETC. Cow, your base is the other way. You're walking into the slaughterhouse, not away from it. He's delaying. He's delaying. Can he get away? No, the E from Drinking Bird means the cow is turned into hamburgers. So Beleth, he's taking tower shots, but so far still has his range damage. Ron continuing to stack Qs, already 37 Qs stacks, which is not bad at all. While Chris Nader has not quite finished his simple geometry quest. Belith at about half health here as he starts attacking the fort. It is going down fairly quick, and again, the poke from Li Ming and Hanzo can be done from so far away. Ron is using Duck Lightning. And with about a third left on their fort, they do manage to push away Team Happy Cloud. The Haka is bottom, pushing out. They're trying to catch up on experience, being a full level behind, as they lost 5 heroes. All 5 of their characters went down in that fight, and they're going for this because they think Team Happy Cloud has left, but they haven't. Here comes a combo. It doesn't do that much damage to Valera. They're poking. Out comes the Silence Puddle. Wolfenade is very low. He comes in. He's going to try and get some CC before he goes down. They do steal the camp, but at the price of their cow and their duck. Their duck is down, and the dwarf who rides him dies also. Red Rook tries to trade back onto Chrisinator, but he is murdered also, and it's a 3-for-0. So far, Team Happy Cloud has been dominant this game, and that's going to give them the opportunity to put free poke onto this top fort. And again, just a simple lack of vision costs Psistorm probes everything. I mean, they got a camp, but it was quickly cleared, and they lost 3 heroes, and now they're even further behind, and their fort is down. They didn't check the bush. They thought the red team had rotated away, and they paid a big price for that. Fade does miss the Impale, but they aren't able to follow up. On the bottom lane, Tahaka is all over. Stormsword is going to have to try to avoid these Drinking Bird combos, but is killed instead by Rob's Blaze. As they don't even go for the camp. They're just going to poke down the bottom gate here, as the Immortals will be spawning in 15 seconds. In the top, blue team is going to attack that gate there as well. They're going for a kind of bizarre fort race here, but the lead is going heavily to the members of Team Happy Cloud. Greymane is good at this, but they're just so far behind. They're going to lose an entire fort for next to nothing as they get some damage, but they're also losing the race. Red team is already on to Alarian. They're already slapping this Angel. Tahaka digs in. They do get the fort, but they've already, at the halftime show, they have to win a fight here. But their opponents have 11. They can't fight here. They can't fight into the 10s of their opponents. It's going to put them at a tremendous disadvantage. And knowing that, Team Happy Cloud is going to go onto the Bruiser camp here. They're trying to find good angles. They do get the tongue, and there's a huge stun, but out comes the arrow, the stun puddle, the E! The burrow charges on 3! Boom! They do get a Nubarak back. He takes damage from the tower and kills. It's actually only a 1-for-1 after that incredible combo ability. Chrisinator is too far up, and he gets killed. Drinking Bird does not kill Falstad with the Li Ming combos, and despite starting that fight without 10s, this is a 2-for-1. Now, Rob is still finishing the camp over here, and I don't know if the blue team doesn't know or simply doesn't care. They want to win the Immortal. They want to kill a demon, damn it! And the Bruiser camp will be taken by Blaze as he goes in. He hits Stormsword, who isn't that worried, and the aggression will continue onto the demon. While on the far side, Wolfenator is just trying to create a little space. He does get jumped on by Fate. Now he takes a big combo. He's at half health. He manages to power slide out. He's down to about a quarter of his health. He's trying to stage dive out. He's at 115 health. Drinking Bird just casting all their spells. They finally kill the cow, but after slamming Belith to the ground, Alarian is ready to go with about a third of his health, although without a tank and no forts, and with the siege camp pushing, blue team is forced to defend and let their Angel push solo. Alarian wondering, why did you summon me if you're just going to fail me? They do manage to push out Team Happy Cloud as Psistorm Probes comes to support Alarian. But he's already down to a third of his health. The stage dive is coming in for ETC. This game has been so crazy we haven't even had a chance to talk about ultimates. The massive shove comes out, ETC is gone, Stormsword is low, and the gust comes out to force the disengage as Alarian goes down with only about a fifth, about 20% coming off of there. Stormsword has to back out as he tried to back. Now he's trying to dig, but he gets stunned, he's going to go down! And that was a bit of a greedy play, drive back in this bush. Ron flies to the top lane to deal with that push instead. So now we can look at ultimates as the red team starts to siege up bottom. They always know what they want, and they go for it hard. We have Ancestral Isolation, Gust, Storm Dive, and Go for the Throat. So this is a heavy engage Worgen form. On the other side, we have Wave of Force, Cocoon, Bunker, Massive Shove, and Dragon's Arrow, which we've seen most of those in play as well. Now, Hanzo does not have the world's greatest structure damage because most of his, or his main ability, his main damage ability, the Scatter Arrow bounces off buildings without doing damage. So it's mostly Li Ming poking that. They do have a 13 advantage, so they are pinging for the top siege camp here, but they're looking to kill the King of the Zerg while they're at it. Stormsword trying to walk away. He tries to size up the Impale, but he misses. He gets stunned now. He's getting locked down. He burrows. He's trying to stay alive, but he is blown away and dies to Drinking Bird's Li Ming combo. In return, the blue team is going to get aggressive on the bottom. But again, they were seen by the minion wave, so Team Happy Cloud is just going to attack this gate. They're going to use beetles, and they're going to use range to start attacking. They're not even going to bother killing the entire fort. Fade seems to be having a nap over here. There's the silence onto the stage dive. It's left him very, very low. The Ancestral comes out, but it's just too late as ETC is blown up again. The Gust comes in, but only hits Hanzo, and the bunker is already down, so he managed to save. Ron has to E away. The Cocoon is onto the Rexar. The silence puddle comes out. Valyria is now stunned. Rexar is dead. And this has gone nutty. They're not even bothering to have an immortal fight right now. Now, there is a siege camp pushing on bottom fort, but there's a red team pushing on top keep. They're continuing to siege, even with Fade at about a third health. They're continuing to push. Now, the death timers are not that long right now. Rhaegar will be up in 5 seconds. The Massive Shove comes out on Wolfinator, so he can't try to combo them in this choke point as Team Happy Cloud jumps onto Alarion and looks to kill the dual-bladed Angel. 16s are not yet out for the red team. They are on equal talent tiers, and this may be Psistorm Probe's opportunity to try to win a fight at this halftime show, as they have not yet touched their demon opponents. They are looking to defend. In the bottom, the siege camp is cleared while this fort is at half health. Wolfinator, he finds the Stuko. They're going to go hard onto the healer here. The silence funnel comes out, but he's knocked back and killed. An excellent engage there. Now there is a 3-person stun from Rob. Out comes the combo onto, here comes the big Dragon's Arrow. Falstaff's at half health. The combo comes out and misses. Greymane is cocooned. And Wolfinator pushes back. Crusader and Drinking Bird are at the back. The jet propulsion misses from Rob, and the stage dive comes out as Wolfinator finds himself in a bad position. So he repositions with his team with the use of his ultimate ability. Sorry, his heroic ability. Greymane is going to go back to races. Wolfinator finds Crusader. They're going to try and kill him. A great tongue bite to Hawkins secures that kill, and that is a 2-for-0. Psistorm Probes coming back. Now their opponents have just hit 16. They're going to have to be careful. These can be some very powerful talents at 16 as Greymane solo races the Demon Lieutenant on the left of the screen. To the right, as they're waiting for their teammates to return, Psistorm Probes is trying to push them back. Wolfinator takes a ton of damage. He does get a big W, and the Gust pushes his opponents back as well. There are 4 here defending. Valyria takes about a third of their health in damage here. Out comes the Li Ming combo. Now they're getting very close on race. This is getting close. Dahaka gets a huge stun. The follow-up by the burrow charged by Fate, but a great burrow. Storm stays alive, and the blue team does lose the race as the red team gets their Demon Immortal. It's so close. Oh, a huge combo! Wolfinator's at such low health. Out comes the Dragon Arrow. It's going to miss everyone. Bunker is down as well. The blue team, despite their best efforts, being down the talent tier means they were not able to keep their opponents away long enough, and the Immortal, with a tiny shield, will go over to Team Happy Cloud. And they've got a huge wave bottom. They can probably take this keep down before Beleth even shows up, meaning they will likely have a close to full health Immortal pushing the core. Blue team will back up. Dahaka desperately attempting to soak them to 16. They will not be there, though, as they defend this Immortal, and their first keep goes down in the bottom lane. And the top lane fort is at about 10%. The red team is going to rotate there, while Beleth is dealt with by the members of Psistorm Probes. 16s are close for Psistorm Probes, though, which again will give them an even talent tier and an opportunity to try and come back in this game. But being down every building means there will constantly be catapult pressure. They can't afford to have a long fight on the Immortals like this last one, because catapults will destroy their core in the meantime. And again, just going for one macro decision after another, Team Happy Cloud is going to go for the top siege camp, while Greymane and Valera from Psistorm Probes go for their Bruiser. Christinator, on the other hand, will take their Bruiser. Rob keeping an eye out to make sure there's no one looking to invade this. Falstad defending the top lane with that global. And again, because this is a smaller map, even with triple globals, while it's given them an opportunity to stay in this game, they haven't been able to use it to its full potential to find ganks or blow up backlines. Out comes the arrow. It's going to miss. It hits some poor angel lady as she's doing her shopping. Poor angel lady. And instead of being able to secure this now, ETC does get cocooned. Stormsword comes in and uses... Oh, but he gets caught by the Leeming combo and blown down. Wolfinator's at incredibly low health. He tried to stage dive there, I think, but it gets interrupted. No, he stage dives now. And he stage dives out. The Rook jumping on Christinator, trying to get that final kill. He does get it, but he's going to go down to Drinking Bird. It's a 1-for-1. Wolfinator coming in from the back. They are on even. He gets a double stun. They're on even penalties, but Wolfinator gets blown up. The damage is so high from the Hanzo and the Li Ming. There goes ETC. There goes the healer. And Ron manages to barrel roll over this wall segment. But that's a 4-for-1 for Team Happy Cloud. They have a bruiser camp that's at full health coming on to core, and they are going to try to finish this game. They don't need a Demon Lieutenant to bring doom to the high heavens today. Ron is going to do his best, but he doesn't have Gust for another 7 seconds. He's pushed away by the massive shove as the shields are gone off of the core. Ron trying to find an angle that will help his team. He does have Greymane back in 2 seconds. The core's at 40, the core's at 30. There's a big push on the team. Fade's still fighting away, and the catapults, it's too late. Game 1 goes to Team Happy Cloud. It's 1-0. GG. A big game there. We see the kills here, 20-5, so a tremendous difference here. And again, we mentioned the fairly close range, the close to mid-range of this team meant, A, they were going to have to chase down farther away people, but the maybe you could say a mechanical result of this is that they're clumped. When you're close to mid-range, you're fairly tight when you're trying to attack a target, unless you have deliberately chosen to try and spread out a bit. So when you're going in for the kill, you're going to have Dahaka, ETC, Greymane close to the same target. You're trying to kill one target. And that means the Li Ming orbs could get so much value. The Hanzo W's could get so much value. And so this draft ended up not just being an uphill climb, but it ended up kind of being a slaughter. And I think they knew that because they picked the ETC so they could at least have some tasty hamburgers after. So game number 1 did go to Team Happy Cloud. And we will see where these teams will take us for game number 2. Oh, some big fight and some really clean combos in that match. I think we saw some really great play from the members of both teams. So we are going to open the file for game number 2. While we see that it is going to be on the Tomb of the Spider Queen. So we've got one angry spider lady and a bunch of mechanical spider butts. Great things to fight over, and a great person to fight for. I mean, who doesn't want to help an angry spider lady collect her jewel butts from mechanical spiders that have defiled her desires? Bring those to their egg clutches. I mean, the lore concept of this map makes no sense to me, but maybe it's based on something from WoW that I just don't know. So, Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map. It's a small map. The lanes are all close together. Ganks come easy here. The lanes are relatively short in the mid and top lane, but it feels a little longer in the bot lane, so ganking bot, which is where the offlaner often goes, can yield results if they don't have a good escape. Stitches can be an absolute monster in the late game here, but having good wave clear. And then the ability to pick up the gems makes a huge difference here. And there's only one boss, and it's a neutral position. So usually after level 13 or so, if you can get a 2 or 3 man advantage after a team fight, a rotate to boss is frequently done because it just opens up an opportunity to push through top and end the game. But without further ado, we're going to pop into game number 2 between Psistorm Probes and Team Happy Cloud. So, Psistorm Probes has drafted Rhaegar, Hogger, Vala, Stitches, and Tassadar. So we talked about the Stitches. This is a smaller map, and after 13, I like to joke that Stitches basically has global range on this map. There's so many areas, and we'll take a quick look. Areas where, like, if you're defending and the team is pushing the top, you can hook someone from here, a squishy out of the backline, kill them, and then defend as 5 against only 4. If you're on the aggressive side, if you're here, the team is defending, you can hook from here. You can go here, you can hook over here. So Stitches has a lot of opportunities on this map to do a lot of good work. Now, the team doesn't have great follow-up for Stitches outside of Tassadar Wall. Rhaegar has a slow, but there's not a lot of hard CC outside of good Vala, Rain of Vengeance, the stun ult. But overall, I would say this is a strong team for clearing waves. It's a team that can fight. It's a team that can pick. And Hogger is one of the strongest offlaners. So I would say overall, it's just a stronger comp. I think it's stronger than their game 1 comp was, and it absolutely offers them opportunity to make it to game number 3. Now we're seeing a slightly more interesting team out of Team Happy Cloud this time. We got Chromie, ETC, Leo, Zagara, Uther. So this team has absolutely bonkers push. Basically, everyone but the ETC here can clear waves very quickly, put pressure on the map. Zagara gives you vision, Leoric can give you safe vision, Chromie can give you safe vision. So this is a team that it seems like they really want to control vision, control rotate spots, and they don't have much for rescuing people who've been hooked, so they're just going to have to play it safe. ETC can get out with a power slide, Leo might be able to E out, but if Hook Gorge comes out, Chromie just dies, Zagara just dies, Uther probably just dies. They don't have a lot of opportunities. As to what Fade might go for an ultimate here, again, there's outside of Rain of Vengeance, and hopefully he actually hits the Vala, there's not a lot to interrupt. I think Mosh could actually be very strong into this team. A Stitch's hook could end it as well. But other than that, it might be difficult. I think Hogger, I'm not sure if Hogger's Q has enough range to break it. And other than that, this is a team that will benefit from Wombos, Maw follow-ups, Entomb follow-ups, Entomb into Mosh, Maw into Mosh, Divine Storm. So this is a team that wants to see these guys gather together. Now, they do have slightly different ranges than they did last time, but if Rhaegar, Hogger, and Stitches get caught in a Maw and it gets followed up by Divine Storm while Mosh is setting up, that's a dead team. That's just a dead team. So, let's see which of these teams can play their comp better. We've got a all-around good comp with some pick potential, and we've got a big team fight comp that wants to control vision. But game number 2 between Psistorm Probes and Team Happy Cloud is going to start right now. In the blue, we have Valera on Rhaegar, Hogger being played by Stormsword. We've got Ron on Vala, Wolfinator playing Stitches, and the Red Rook on Tassadar. They are Psistorm Probes. In the red, we've got Drinking Bird on Chromie, Fade playing the ETC, Rob on Leoric, Chrisinator on Zagara, and Uther is played by R275 Delta. This is Team Happy Cloud! We see Totem build for Rhaegar and the usual Rage pick on the Prowl for Hogger. We've got W build Tassadar, so he will not be stacking the Shock Ray Qs. This is a wave clear build and a mana. We've got multi-shot from the Vala, which, again, not bad on this map. Gives you opportunity to clear the pustules. It gives you an opportunity to hit multiple people, and it's not terrible. We've got Deep Breathing for the Chromie, so doesn't go the Vision talent. She's going to be stacking up those Ws, and against a fairly low health backline, that could provide a fair amount of value. We've got the Guitar Hero for ETC, so a bit more sustained for himself. The hook does come out. Already the Deep Breathing getting plenty, or the Dragon's Breath getting plenty of value. And again, they're running kind of a 1-3-1. Zagara's going to be pushing hard in the top lane here. Rotates as to not get caught out. There is a stun by Fade. Onto the Stitches. He's low, and Stitches doesn't have the same kind of tools other tanks have to escape this. But Valera is going to be able to keep him alive as he took a talent that gives him 15% additional healing. So he stays alive there. We do have the Ossian Renewal for Leoric. We have the W build Wave of Light from Uther, which is my personal favorite. I just think it provides you a lot of sustained healing and an opportunity to add a touch extra damage in a team fight. And we have the Corpse Feeders, so E build for Zagara, which gives you great siege ability. And if you can hit them in fights, that can be helpful as well. So the blue team had rotated bottom, gave Stormsword a bit of help there. Rob gets knocked back. And already, red team going fast for macro. This is a team that really understands when they need to do their macro. Now, the blue team had already taken their siege camp, so they do have a slight advantage here, but they are fighting under towers, and the Chromie wave clear is very good. Wolfinator gets pushed back by Fade, but no one seems to be at risk of dying just yet. Nobody here coming out from behind the wall. No one wants to get put in a bad position by Wolfinator's stitches. Now, Chrysinator is alive. We got the Chrysinator versus the Wolfinator. I'll be back. He goes for the hook over the wall, a little cheeky, but he catches the wall instead of catching this part and does not hit the Zagara. Wolfinator thumping people with a chainsaw, but it's not actually active, so it doesn't do very much damage. As you see that chainsaw, absolutely no chainsaw action going on. Fade looking to interrupt, or just getting vision. Creeps. Now, that's something blue team has done very well. They have been killing creep wherever they find it. Hogger, all alone on the bottom camp, has not been sniffed out yet by Rob. Either that or Rob does not want to deal with it. Rhaegar is going to the bottom to push Leo away, but he is going to go into the bottom, and look here. He sees that there are two. He chooses to give it up, but he can at least report that to his team. In the top, Psistorm Probes has managed to keep themselves safe, so while they're at a 3v4 disadvantage, they are not getting blown up. Ron's taking a lot of damage, though. It does get healed up by this Rhaegar, but now Fade is in the backline. He hits both Vala and Rhaegar, and now they're looking at Wolfinator, but he manages to walk away safely again. So we're not seeing a lot of kill potential from the red team at the moment. Again, a lot of their ability to blow people up will come post 10. Hogger does have to E away to Naga Hill. He was trying to defend this camp, but is no longer able to right this moment. It does look like you're going to try and jump on Uther here. He's in a bad position. Chrysinator trying to provide the damage support, but the Uther will die. The hook is on the Chrysinator. They're going to try to catch him as well, but the Chromie damages managed to convince Psistorm Probes that Zerg, that Broodmother, would be better left till later. You do not want to gorge a Zerg Queen. They're full of bile and yuck, Wolfinator. Do not eat that. Don't you put it in your mouth. Alright. Fade gets hooked, and they're just trying to not... That's another thing of Zagara I hadn't considered on this map. These little minions, she can be busy getting lane, and the minions will stop you from turning in. So it does give them some turn-in protection. Now, ETC is a lower health tank. He does get poked out here, but again, Drinking Bird and Chrysinator just popping whatever they can in there to prevent this team from turning in. The hook comes out, but hits nothing. Wolfinator attempting to turn in his 10 gems. Ron has 0. He is caught in a bad position, though, but ease through the ETC. Managed to stay alive. Out comes the gate, but Rob is coming up as well. Wolfinator is all alone here. He's taking a ton of damage, and he will go down and lose his gems. Ron picks up 5, but now he's in a rough spot. Valyra has 22 gems, and took a lot of damage there. So the first... No, that's not first blood. And so this is going to leave a bit of a spot for red team to turn in, and they do. Webweavers will first favor team Happy Cloud, as once again, they just seem to have good strategies for whatever map they want. The ultra long range, good race strat on BOE. And here on Tomb, they picked a draft that just interrupts until they're in the position they want to be to turn in themselves. Again, post 10, things might change for them. Post 13, things might change for this Stitches. So in the top, we see Tassadar facing off against Chrysinator, and on the bottom, it's going to be Hogger versus Leo. So in the middle, it's a 3v3 plus this Webweaver, and she has gotten this gate already. And again, they're positioning carefully to not put themselves in position to be hooked by Wolfinator. But in the top, Zagara kills Tassadar while she is at a very low health total herself. And Tassadar had come a little ways out. He lost all his gems out here on the creep. Top is cleared, the bottom is low, but it is getting damage onto this fort. And in the top lane, this Spider Queen is doing plenty still. Well, she will go down. There is somewhat of an engage in the mid here. There comes the Temporal Loop onto Wolfinator, and I believe Cleanse was used. Wolfinator's going to go down. He gets blown up by the opponent team, and they've hit 10 now. The wall comes out. They're trying to get damage here from the Red Rook. Maw comes out and it misses. Fade is low, but Psistorm Probes is going to have to back away, and it looks like there may be a bit of a siege on the mid lane here, but no. Team Happy Cloud will back away, happy with the advantage they have. So we do see Mosh Pit, Maw, Entomb, Divine Shield. So Divine Shield meaning he could put it on Fade and not have Mosh be interrupted for any reason. And the Temporal Loop we've already seen. Now 10s do also come in for Psistorm Probes. Just a moment later, we have Ancestral Healing, Shockwave on Hogger, Rain of Vengeance for the follow-up to Gorge from Vala. Gorge is on Stitches, and Black Hole from Tassadar. So most of the time, Archon is very strong. Black Hole can be powerful for disengage. It is pretty much only a disengage tool, while Archon is more versatile. But again, the red Web Weavers will come in. Team Happy Cloud has managed to get kind of a wave push priority on this map. They've got slightly more control, and they get another Web Weaver turn in. And usually the first turn isn't what wins you this game or gets you great things. It's usually if you can get consecutive turn-ins. That's what usually starts to create an advantage for your team. So even if you don't turn in first but get the second and third ones, you can do good things. The Temporal Loop will come out onto Vala. The Ancestral pops out onto Wolfinator. He's going to eat the Zagara, and the Maw hits no one, but Ronda's low gets killed by the Web Weavers. Here comes the invulnerable Mosh, and the Rook does throw the Black Hole, but the Divine Shield means the Mop is not interrupted, but the team is not available to stop and kill the people in the Mosh, so ETC is murdered instead. In the top lane, the fort does go down to this Web Weaver, and in the bottom lane, it is also going to go down. He's not going to be able to kill this in time, and she's casting her spell, she takes it down. So that's 2 forts. Now Leoric is killed. But Psistorm Probes, while they may have gotten a couple of kills here, they are still taking a lot of damage on buildings as the red team is just able to comfortably reset. And with Leo coming up in 10 seconds, he's scouting out to see where are Psistorm Probes. The time trap comes out. Valeera has 29 gems. That healer really wants to turn in. But again, Team Happy Cloud has so many tools to keep them from doing so. Hogger is turning into the bottom. Stormsword has 22 gems. Those spider butts are delivered into a spiky egg ball. Ordinary things you say on a Friday. There is the wall. And again, now this creep is starting to spread. It's starting to look like a Serral game in here, guys. There's just creep everywhere. But Wolfinator doing his duty, smashing it down. And this has got to start feeling oppressive. Valeera's in a terrible place. 32 gems and is caught out by the ETC, who does get eaten, but the Temporal Loop, it does go out onto Rhaegar, and he's dead. 32 gems are gone. The Black Hole comes out for the disengage, but the Entomb is on Tassadar. Fade will get killed in the backline, but he's created all sorts of space, so that's Tassadar dead with many gems as well. So, that cost a lot more for the members of Psistorm Probes than it did for the members of Team Happy Cloud. It's a 2-for-1, but more so, they lost a lot of the gems they had. I believe Tassadar had come in to try to pick up the spider butts that had been dropped by Valeera on that Rhaegar and got entombed and murdered for it. Blue team still does have enough for a turn-in for Web Weavers, though, and I think they desperately want that. They want to try and change the pace of this game. They want to change the tempo of what's happening here. But again, Chromie can delay you from here while you're turning in. The Temporal Loop does come out on Ron, but the Unstoppable comes out from Rhaegar. Ron does not take any damage. The tanks are going to tickle each other with different implements, a guitar axe and a chainsaw that's not moving. I hope they're having fun, because this is like a children's birthday party with those big air-filled things will thunk, thunk, thunk. But Wolfinator's in a bad spot now. The people with real damage have come. Now, the Ancestor does come out, but Wolfinator's taking so much damage. This is a 4v4 team fight now, as Zagara and Tassadar are not here. They're both clearing. There's Hogger popping out some damage as he bounces around. Ron takes tons from the deep-breathing Dragon's Breath. Rob gets hooked in, takes a lot of damage, and Leo will go down as Vala hits that. But the Divine Storm Mosh comes out and that on too. Ron is taking a ton of damage. He gets barely saved by Valeera there as Hogger jumps into the rest of the team. Uther does get eaten by Wolfinator as Tassadar comes into this fight late. Hogger goes down, but so does Uther. This is now a 2-for-1 for teams Psistorms. Crusader in the back as well. Also coming in from soaking. Fade pushes them away. He gets hooked though. He gets pulled back in. Rob is going to be back momentarily, but the power slide comes out, and now the temporal loop does come out to Vala. She dies. And now all of a sudden, although they had gotten a 2-for-1, now it is the blue team on the run as it's a 2-for-2 now. And this later, Wolfenator's in a terrible spot. Red Brook looking to help his tank, but it's too late. The tank goes down. And on the total, they've come down about 5 gems from where they were before. They're even further from turning in. And this comp from Team Happy Cloud with the Zagara and the ETC Uther with the, invulnerable Mosh. The, Divine Pit, you might call it. I mean, that sounds better than Mosh Shield. The Divine Pit. Just sucking people in and never letting them go. No way to stop it. And then the Chromie Zagara stopping the turn-ins. This has got to be a frustrating game for the members of Psistorm. They drafted a good, solid, all-around comp. Hogger is now getting cut in. The Temporal Loop and the Entomb are dropped. Storm Sword walks into and gets killed. Both teams are at 16 now. Fate looking for further. He does get hooked and gorged. He is pulled in. Has he taken Crowd Surfer, though? He does. There's the stun. He slides out, but he's killed as well. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. He did not have a lot of gems for his team, however. There's a good hook onto Rob, but he's going to Wraith walk out. The Black Hole comes out. The Maw is out on a Tassar. Ron is taking a ton of damage. Out comes the Ancestral. He is still alive. Divine Shield and Shockwave are the only ultimates still available right now, although Hogger is dead. So, really? Just the D-Shield. Red Team still does not have enough to turn in, but again, Chromie putting time traps in here. So when the blue team comes to turn in, and this is a pretty common place to kind of come in, turn in, Frozen. Bruiser Camp is taken by Psistorm probes, and they are 1 full level behind. 16s are in for both teams. Chromie will be getting her level 18 talent here momentarily. Rhaegar trying to turn in, but gets caught by the time trap, takes a ton of damage. Rob does get hooked in, but again, Wraithwalk means he cannot be harmed, and the Wraithwalk is weakening his opponents. The time trap comes out, Ron is dead! Valir gets blown away, now Wolfenator's all by himself, the team fight is coming out, there's the stun onto the wall, Rob's taking a ton of damage, but there's the D-Shield, and Tassadar now gets caught out, he's blown up and loses all his gems as well. Wolfenator by himself getting caught out. Rhaegar will get away by popping the totem, but Wolfenator, unfortunately, Stitches is walking to his doom. Comes to say hi to the Sea Giants. How you doing, fellas? Gets stunned by the Uther. Hogger gets killed, as I believe he might have been trying to turn in top. Gets caught up here, and the Stitches will go down also. A 4-for-0 for Team Happy Cloud. And with a wave already crashing top, they're going to take this top keep with Drinking Bird and Fade. Uther will respond to the siege camp that was here. Just really clever plays. Team Psistorm probes, I think, were expecting the Divine Mosh, and they went hard for Leo, but he got Divine Shielded, and that put Tassadar out of position, and Vala in position to get Temporal Looped. They blew up the damage dealers, and from there, it was pretty much over. Now, we do have Stuck in a Loop, so the double loop from Chromie, they're going for this boss, and the blue team has no one with whom to scout. They will give this over. There's no keep in the top lane. They're going to have to defend this, and defend it desperately. The question is, will Team Happy Cloud push with this, or will they try to soak 21st? They're actually waiting. They don't want to capture this yet. Ah, they turned in first, so it's going to be Web Weavers, and the macro pressure is going to be intense. It's going to take a miracle for Psistorm probes to come out of this phase with Boss and Triple Web Weavers with all of their buildings intact, or what they have left. I think both these keeps will go down if they manage to survive at all. They cannot let this boss walk in for free. They're looking for the hooks, but the red team is positioning so far north. They do have 20s now. It's the Storm Shield for... It's the Silence and Tomb for Leoric. I tried to say ETC, my brain wouldn't give me those words or letters. Zagara gets the Hunter Killer. Pack Instinct. And we don't have Redemption, we have Divine Protection. So the healing is more. Storm Sword's taking a ton of damage there on Hogger as the boss slams into the Skeep. Fade drops his Mosh, gets Divine Shield, but just walks out of it because it doesn't hit anybody, and that is it. Game 2 goes to the members of Team Happy Cloud. as they blow away Psistorm probes in 2 games that, while had some really great fights and some really even moments, game 2 made it really hard to doubt who was going to finish this game on top. Kills were closer this time at 15-7. And it's really hard to say what could have been done against the Divine Storm Mosh, at least for me. Uh, these guys played so patiently, they just delayed push-ins with the Zagara little creeps with the, what are they called? Roaches? With the roaches and the Hydralisks, and the Chromie time traps and the Qs and the Sandblasts. They just waited. They waited till they could hit 10, and once they were at 10, they played much more aggressively. And while they made some mistakes in some team fights, there were some good fights won by Psistorm probes. They learned from those mistakes and they just waited. They basically baited Psistorm probes to come in for turn-ins because they were desperate. They wanted a turn. They wanted a chance to push back out. They wanted to get back on a more even footing. I don't believe they ever got a Webweaver phase in the blue team, if I'm remembering correctly. The control over the points was that oppressive for Team Happy Cloud. So great drafting and great playing. That's a 2-0 in this heroic division series between Psistorm Probes and Team Happy Cloud. GG's. I hope you've all enjoyed this quick but entertaining 2-game series. I hope you can all go enjoy yourself some HOTS. Have a great day. I've been Omster. Quick note, if you want to watch the VODs, they're available on Twitch for 7 days, and they are going to be up on YouTube by the end of the day today. Thank you so much. Have a good one.